Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Mike and Mike Show. I'm Mike, and
Mikey.
that's
Mike.
Today we're going to make a video on our favorite scary movies. Now, this ain't going to be like scary movies of all time or anything like that.
This is the movies that makes you want to put on your diapers.
Yeah. It's our favorite scary movies. In no chronological order.
Ain't no
like
slasher, that. No gasher, no slasher. This is scare you to you yourself.
All right, yeah.
Or number two. It don't matter.
It don't matter. Okay, here we go.
Or vomit.
Well, yeah, okay, and this is a good one to start off with. 1974's version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed by Tobe Hooper.
My favorite movie of all time.
His favorite movie of all time.
Texas Chainsaw is the shit.
That movie created such a buzz as far as the horror industry goes. It wasn't a big budget movie by any means, but Tobe Hooper, with that movie, put himself on the map. That movie, the gore in that movie set people's
stomachs up,
churning. Okay,
when it first comes on.
Yeah.
Joel Larroquette is citing all that stuff. You hear that? See body part. Body part. And it finally shows it. And there's this corpse there, sitting straight up on the tombstone, holding a head.
Yeah.
Now that's awesome. How you start something out like that.
And as the movie progresses, it builds up tension. It might be considered kind of a slow burn at start, but not to me. Anyway.
Not to me.
But I mean, it builds up tension and builds up tension and builds up tension, and then finally it hits a peak, and it does not stop once it hits that peak.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
It is a fun thrill ride of a movie to watch, and if you've never seen it before, it's sure to put the fear of God in you.
I never will forget me and a bunch of my friends sat there at the house and watched it. Okay. It shook everybody up because I've done seen it like 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah.
Now this boy, I ain't mentioned his name. Hopefully he sees this, and I just want to laugh at him. But anyways, he was older than I was. He said, "Can you walk me up to my house?" I'm like, "Sure, man." And then a dog started yipping and howling. He was like, "Man, I can't wait to get home." That's how scary it was.
Movies like that are few and far between anymore. So this movie is incredible. If you've never, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this movie. But if you have not seen this film, definitely sit down and watch this film.
The Salas Family.
The Salas Family. It's a perfect Halloween type movie to watch. Perfect. Okay, so the next one we want to talk about
is Five Nights at Leanna's.
No, I already did that one. Okay. 2014's Annabelle, directed by John Leonetti.
Yeah.
That movie, it was based out of the Conjuring universe, of course. And James Wan helped produce that movie and that kind of thing. The screenplay for this movie was great. Everything about this movie was great. From the backstory to the jump scares. This movie was loaded with them. Loaded with jump scares.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been done any better than what it was, I don't think. I mean, the only way it could have been done any better is if it would have had somebody like Sam Raimi or John Carpenter maybe behind it or whatever. But John Leonetti did an excellent job of directing this film, with help from James Wan, I'm sure, who put his little spin into it, critiquing certain things in it. James Wan became a master, one of the masters of horror, starting with The Conjuring and the Conjuring universe and delving into that stuff. And then Insidious and The Nun and all that.
I don't want none.
Oh. But that movie's incredible. The way that the doll is portrayed in this film as like a main character The way it's set up, it builds up tension and builds up suspense. It's very, very well. James Wan is a master at doing that kind of thing, as we find out later on in some of the other films. But I mean, this movie was just incredible.
It was
Incredible.
good.
It was very good. All right, so we're going to jump on to the next one because we got a lot here. All right. So now we're going to go to 2013's The Conjuring, directed by Michael Chavez and James Wan. This movie kind of paid homage to movies like Amityville Horror, with the horror aspect of it, the possession, kind of the being haunted. Uh, it's tons of movies about hauntings out there, tons of them, but none of them will put fear in you
Like The Conjuring.
like The Conjuring did. Okay, Amityville Horror, excellent film. It's on the list down later on. We'll talk about it later. But The Conjuring is the best haunting film that I have seen that has come out in a long time. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. From the way that the family portrayed in this film were excellent. Patrick Wilson played in this film, and I forgot who his wife was.
I don't forgot her name too.
It was the Warrens.
The Warrens.
They were perfect in this film, both of them. Of course, now Patrick Wilson also played in the Insidious films, which we'll discuss those later on as well. But I mean, this Conjuring film is incredible. All of them were good, 1, 2, and 3.
It's just the setting and the feel of it.
The setting, the feeling, the ambiance, the suspense,
music.
the music in all these films really set the mood or set the tone for what's going to happen. You have no idea where these jump scares are going to come out at.
That's what made them so good.
That's what made them so good. You think you know that there's going to be a jump scare, and then there's not, and then it's right there.
Yeah.
And that to me just made these movies, just knocked them right out of the park. These movies were great.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, so the next film we're going to talk about, directed, I think I'm going to say his name correct, I'm not for sure, Fede Alvarez, was Evil Dead, the remake, in 2013.
Make sure that you wear your diapers watching this.
Yes, absolutely.
And a barf bag.
Yeah, and a barf bag. Because this movie pushes the limit. More so than any film that's been released here lately. I mean, this film, the blood, the gore, it's fantastic. Okay? I'm a big fan of gore, and you kind of have to... There's parts in this film that will make you cringe.
It will make you turn your head.
It will make you turn your head. It will make you cover your eyes. It will make you cringe. Okay? This movie was excellent.
I have never seen so much blood in my life.
Yeah.
It was just...
This movie was excellent. I loved it. It's one of my favorites.
Put it like this.
Yeah.
I went to the movies to watch this with another friend of mine. And hopefully he's watching it. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
At the end of it, we was sitting there watching it, and then he starts going, na 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 da 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 na 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 na. I was sitting there going, yep. And I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know what that song is, that's what it does. It's literally doing that, and it was cool. It was really cool.
The one scene that stands out to me the most from that film is the bathroom scene.
Yeah.
That bathroom scene, if nothing else in that movie scares you up to that point, that bathroom scene will get you. Most definitely that bathroom scene will get you. The special effects were great. The prosthetics were incredible. The gore, it's a remake that is well worth your time. Guaranteed.
And it's whenever I watch it at the theater, people in there were crying.
Yeah.
Screaming. Going, oh God, no. I'm like, shut up. We're trying to watch the movie.
That's how you know that a movie was done right. When fans in the theater
they're going, oh God. Yeah. And me and my buddy back there going, man, this is cool.
That movie it's one of the better remakes that's come out. It's definitely worth your watch. So now we're going to jump to the sequel that just come out in this year, 2023, directed by Lee Cronin, Evil Dead Rise.
Now
This movie was I love the way it was set up because it started at the cabin, but then it took it away from the cabin and made it
modern day
in modern day in an apartment complex. That environment, that surrounding was perfect for a movie like this. That set was perfect. I don't know how in the world whoever come up with this.
Their minds was good at making this one.
They made this one. Whoever come up with this, wrote the screen. I salute you, sir, because this movie was incredible. I loved it. It wasn't even a remake. I mean, it was just an updated version, an updated sequel
that went straight along with the original.
That went along with the original film, and I mean, it was incredible. I loved it so much. And I've watched it 2 or 3 times myself, and the gore in this film was good. The special effects in this movie were good. And
the
creepiness, like I said, the surrounding had a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline, the lighting was great. The writing was well done. The woman that played the lead character in this movie,
she
that woman knocked it out of the park. I'm telling you. I can't remember what her name was. I don't even think I remember looking it up actually.
I think Bruce Campbell would poop himself if he was there. If he was in that movie, I think he would have pooped himself.
Yeah.
Out of joy, like, look at this woman.
Yeah.
She's scaring the piss out of me.
She was incredible. The makeup and all was just spot on, terrific, amazing, wonderful. Must watch. Guarantee you, you'll love it. Okay, so now we're going to go to another sequel. This one directed by David Sandberg in 2017, Annabelle Creation.
That movie messed me up.
That movie messed him up. I mean,
it messed me up, and I don't usually get messed up. Okay.
Yeah. But that movie, the once again, just like Evil Dead Rise, the surroundings, the environment, the way it was set up, the way the suspense was built, perfect. Jump scares. There were a few jump scares in here. Most of them you can pretty much catch on as to when they were coming, but there were a few that you couldn't. It's
like in that movie, I knew what was coming.
Right.
But it's just how they done it. It was.
Yeah.
Usually there's music to let you know that it's coming.
Right.
And then right in the middle of that meeting, I was sitting there going, son of a mother, son of a.
See, that's what I was talking about in the other video when me and Wyatt did a review of Five Nights at Freddy's. The one spot that got me, I knew it was coming. I'd seen it in the trailer. I knew it was coming, but just that jump, just that quick, it was like that, and it's right there, and it makes you jump. Same thing with this Annabelle Creation. You know it's coming. The music sets it up. Then it just
comes out of nowhere,
and it gets you every single time. This movie is another one of the great Halloween movies to watch.
Put your diapers on when you watch it.
Exactly. Now this next one, I'm going to talk about this next one. Directed by Scott Dickerson in 2012. It's Sinister. This movie, it was great after I got through it. We'll put it that way. It took me so many times to start this movie and watch it. The way it went back and showed footage that this guy was watching of actual murders, I couldn't get through it. I had to stop it. I couldn't get through it. It took me, 2 or 3 times to actually get through this whole film because it was so, I don't want to say, it wasn't really morbid. It was morbid, but it wasn't really so much that I couldn't take it.
Mm.
But it put the fear in you. And it took me 2 to 3 times to actually sit and watch this whole freaking movie. But once I did, I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
It had its moments.
It had its moments, and it had a little bit of funny stuff in it. Not very much at all, but a little. It was well directed. The music was great. The special effects were cool, and just the way it built up, like I've said it in all these so far, the way it built up tension, building up tension and suspense
And fear.
and fear is one of the most important things that you can find in a horror film. If you can't build up suspense, tension, or that fear of not being able to see a way out or a way to survive what's going on, then you don't have a horror film. You don't have a film at all, really. If there's no way to invoke some kind of response mentally, physically, or emotionally while watching a film, you don't have a film.
You don't have a film at all.
You don't have a film at all. But this movie sets it up great. It's a haunting story of a guy who's trying to write a book, an actual book about murders, factual murder, actual criminal
murders.
cases. And he moves his family into the house where one of these murders has taken place, but he does not tell his wife that that's why he moved them there. And that right there, that's going to implode at some point in time in the movie.
And
you're just waiting, and everything it falls into place. Everything starts happening all at once, like a dominoes falling over.
And it's scientifically known that this is the scariest movie of all time.
Scientifically known.
And you can put a heart one of them things on your finger.
Yeah.
Man, it monitors your heart, and your heart will go up. I
Yeah.
don't care if you watch it 2-3 different times. Your heart will go up.
Your heart rate will go up. It's been scientifically proven, as he just said. We actually watched a video on that. Some of the scariest movies of all time, where they actually took a heart monitor. One of the colleges, big colleges, hooked up a heart rate monitor to the audience and let them watch several movies to find out which one
was the scariest.
Was the scariest. And Sinister was actually the number one movie on that list. Now, granted, they didn't. I don't think they did have The Conjuring on there. It ranked pretty high. But
Yeah.
Sinister was the number one film. And I believe that is true because, like I said, it took me 2 or 3 times to watch it. Most time I could start a movie and watch it and have no problem whatsoever watching it. None at all. None at all. Depending on how far they take it, But this movie, like I said, it took me 2 or 3 times to watch it because of the ambiance that it set up, the background story, the footage. I mean, it was creepy. It was all out creepy.
Most of it had to do with children, so that's why.
That's a sensitive
touchy subject.
Yeah, very, very touchy, very touchy.
And I don't like zombie kids either. I don't know, whether they get on your nerves or eat you to death. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. This is one of my favorites. It's a classic. It's 1975 Steven Spielberg's Jaws. This movie, when it came out, it
scared the piss out of people.
It scared millions and millions of people to the point to where
they didn't go to the beach no more.
They didn't go to the beach. They didn't want to go to the beaches.
That's a proven fact.
The way Spielberg set this up, where you do not see the shark that's attacking these people, you do not see that shark until almost the end of the freaking movie.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of tension builds so well, and it puts out such a great tone, and it tells a great story. Not Rob Schneider. I started to say Rob Schneider. That's the animal guy. He's funny. Roy Scheider is great in this movie. There is nobody that could have played Chief Brody other than Roy Scheider, I believe. In my heart, there was nobody else that could play that character. Richard Dreyfuss was great in this movie, and even the guy that played Quinn was
Show me the way to go home.
Sorry. Quinn was great in this movie, and especially the story that he told about the Indianapolis, the ship that he was on.
That really happened.
That really happened, and that was not in the script originally. Quinn told that story to add to his character, which it did greatly.
A lot.
It added to not only his character, but it added to the story as well. This movie is 4 out of 5 stars in my book. I love watching this movie. I've watched it. I've watched it almost as many times as I've watched Roadhouse, and that's a lot. Okay, that is a lot. You see the look on his face. That's a lot.
It's a proven fact because people in the early 70s, that's where they went, was the beach, the beach,
Yep.
the beach, the beach, the beach. And they knew about the sharks, but they didn't worry about it. So whenever this movie come out, it was like 2 years. People didn't. If they went to the beach, they were like right up to the coast.
Yeah.
Right there,
Just to where they
ankle
could
deep.
jump out real quick if they had to. You
Yeah.
know. This movie, this movie was great. If you hadn't seen it before, it's definitely worth your watch. It's a true classic. I love this movie. I love this movie. Now we're going to go to another classic. This one was directed by Stuart Rosenberg. Come out in 1979. It's the original Amityville Horror. This movie was it's a classic haunting movie. Josh Brolin, I think, played. No, James Brolin played in this.
One of them Brolins.
James Brolin played in this with Margot Kidder of Superman fame. She was perfect in this movie. She was perfect, and Brolin was also well for this movie because the house drove him insane, and you could see the effect the house was having on him throughout this movie, mentally and physically. And just the way it was set up with the priest coming in and the flies in the window and the voice telling the priest to get out, that was terrifying. But the music builds up so well in this film. Jump scares are abound in this. You want to see what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next because it builds up that tension so well, like all these movies do. All these movies do. You're going to hear me say it 20 billion times. But this movie does build up tension very well. The music helps with that. The story's well written, it's well directed, and it's well acted.
And the sequels?
The only sequel that I thoroughly enjoyed was the Amityville Awakening.
Yeah, that was the new one that came out.
Yeah, that was the one. That was
one of the newest.
Yeah, one of the newest ones to come out. That one was really good too. It was well worth the watch. Just as this one is, you'll love the Awakening. If you love this movie, you'll love Awakenings.
And if you like remakes, don't watch the remake of this.
No. I didn't like the remake of this. To me, it wasn't scary.
Yeah, it was just.
It was poorly written. It was poorly
blah.
It was a cash grab. I hate to say that about any film, unless it absolutely truly deserves it. But the remake of Amityville Horror to me was a cash grab. That's all it was. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go to the 2010 Insidious, directed by James Wan.
Another one that messed me up.
That's what I'm saying. James Wan has turned himself into a master of horror with these movies. He knows how to scare you, when to scare you, when not to scare you, and how to tell a story. That's plain and simple in all his films. I know the people are like, well, what about M. Night Shyamalan? M. Night Shyamalan
is an idiot.
Is an idiot to me.
The first couple of movies he ever made, The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense was good. Signs
was good.
Us was,
Us wasn't made by him.
Was that not made by Shyamalan?
That was Jordan Peele.
Okay, that was Jordan Peele. My bad. I'm blaming Shyamalan. Nope.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
I didn't watch that. I'm sorry. No, was not interested. I don't like alien type movies like that, like alien invasion type stuff. Some of it, yeah.
Mars Attacks. That's the best.
Mars Attacks is the best one. But anyway, this Insidious movie, the music, everything about this movie sets up tone. Patrick Wilson is excellent in this film, just like he was in The Conjurings.
What scared me the most out of this one was that Tiny Tim song.
Oh, yeah.
See the tulips. And then you can see this creature like sharpening its claws. I'm like, screw this, turn it off.
Turn it off. Get out. Gone. See you later. Okay. But, I mean, Patrick Wilson did an excellent job in this film as the dad. I can't remember who played the little boy. He was awesome in this movie. Like I said, James Wan directed this one. I have not seen Insidious: The Red Door, directed by Patrick Wilson. I do want to watch that one, but I have not watched it yet, and I will. But I'm a big fan of the Insidious films. All the Insidious films. Big fan. Now, the next movie, directed by Neil Marshall, 2005's The Descent.
Another movie that messed me up.
This movie...
Claustrophobic.
It's claustrophobic to a T.
And I'm claustrophobic. I don't.
It's four women get together to go on this spelunking trip. One of them has lost, I think it was a daughter and a husband.
Yeah.
In a car accident. So her friends get her to come with them to help her cope with everything and get out and do something fun. They go down into this cave spelunking. They get caught down there. There are creatures down there that take them out one by one. The whole movie has them crawling through these small crevices.
Itty bitty holes.
Holes, and seem like they get smaller and smaller. I guess that's the creating the ambiance, the claustrophobic sense throughout. Because it seems to me like the holes they keep having to crawl through get smaller and smaller. But this movie, it builds up everything so well.
It wasn't the creatures that got me. It was
the claustrophobic. Yeah, being cramped up. Claustrophobia is bad. It's bad. It's real bad.
Yep.
This movie was really well done, well acted. It kept you enthralled in the story and what was going on. I think there through certain parts of the film it kept showing like flashbacks of the accident that woman had and stuff like that. And there's internal story. There's an internal story that goes on in there that's a plot twist that I don't want to tell you about, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But this movie is done so well. I don't think it was made on a very big budget, but it grossed quite a bit. It grossed a lot. It did really well at the box office.
The sequel wasn't bad.
I have not watched the sequel.
Every time he watches, he goes to sleep.
I fall asleep. Literally fall asleep. Not because I don't want to watch the movie, just because I guess I'm just tired. But I do plan on watching it because I love the first movie so much. I'd love to watch the second one all the way through. So we're going to move on to the next one. 2003, directed by David Ellis. Final Destination 2. Now
that is, I mean...
A lot of people are like, how in the world could you put Final Destination 2 as one of the scariest movies on the list? I'm telling you, watch it. Watch it.
The one scene that'll get you the most is whenever they're driving. Okay, with logging trucks and all the traffic on the road. That happens every day.
And that terrifies the teetotal hell out of me. And anybody who has ever driven on a freeway and pulled up on a logging truck or had a logging truck pull up behind them, you cannot tell me that if you've seen Final Destination 2, that scene does not pop into your head when that logging truck goes by you.
I mean, if anything in these Final Destinations, some of it was kind of far-fetched.
Oh, yeah.
But this one
was still grounded, pretty much.
It still gets to me. I can't, I can watch it, but it can happen, folks.
Yeah.
I mean...
This was still kind of grounded to reality in some aspects of the film. The other ones, they kind of get far-fetched as the more they come out.
Mm-hmm.
But the first two were probably the best ones. I actually kind of like I think it's the third one. I actually kind of like that one too. But it starts to go out in the space. Gets a little too far-fetched.
Yeah.
But the first two films, excellent films. Especially the second one. That first 15 minutes of that film will mess you up. Will mess you up. Yeah. And I guarantee you, this movie will take you on a thrill ride that you will thoroughly enjoy.
If I see a logging train on the freeway, I'm like trying my best to get off of it.
Yeah,
like,
get away.
There might be a drunk up ahead,
Yeah.
And who's drinking on that logging chain? And no, thank you. Screw that.
Okay. So we're going to move on to the next film, 1974, directed by Bob Clark, Black Christmas. This movie, the remake was trash, okay? Don't even bother with the remake. The original film starring Margot Kidder, and I don't know who all else was in this film, but they were all good. They were all good. You never find out, well, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say that. That'll ruin it. That'll ruin it. This movie, with the way it's set up, the phone calls that take place, this guy this crazed guy is calling this sorority house and tormenting the people inside. Um, the phone calls, they're very graphic.
Yeah.
Um,
It was ahead of its time.
It was way ahead of its time as far as, what they allowed language wise in films at that time period. So the content of the phone calls is very graphic. I'll warn you now. Some of the language is very graphic in that film. But the way it's set up, the way it plays out, it sets it up. You're trying to figure out through this whole movie, who is it? Who's the killer? What's going on?
And it's Christmas.
And it's Christmas time. John Saxon also plays. He plays the police officer in this film. I think he's a police chief in the movie.
Yeah.
But John Saxon plays in this movie. He's very good. He also played in, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, and he was excellent in that as well. So it's got a decent cast. The music that's in this film sets up a lot and builds a lot. It's not gore. It's not gore galore, but there are some kills in this film.
It's a horror suspense.
It's more of a horror suspense type movie. It's very good if you have not seen it before. Just sit down, watch it. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to another remake from 2006 directed by Simon West. It's called When a Stranger Calls. I've only seen the original film maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah,
not sure. But this remake was really good. It is based about a guy who stalks babysitters. And this girl is in this humongous house all alone with this child babysitting while the owners are gone on a trip or to dinner, or I don't know how, I can't remember. But anyways, this guy is stalking both of them and taunting her over the phone, kind of like in Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The house is made of, it looks to me like it was, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was all glass.
Yeah.
So that in itself creates its own ambiance. The music is great. The directing is great. The characters are good. It once again, like I've said a million times already, the tension is built very well. The suspense is well done. It's just it's a fun watch. It will mess with you.
Well, I mean,
it'll creep you out a little bit.
In the first one, it was just a regular old phone.
Right.
But this one
was more updated.
She had the house phone.
Right.
And then started calling her cell phone. That's what got.
That's when it really built up the tone very, very well when it started getting into that kind of thing. But Simon West did an amazing job directing this film. It was a good watch. Definitely check this one out this Halloween.
Halloweener.
Okay, now we're going to go to another one in 2008. Brian Bertino, The Strangers. This movie was great. This movie
messed me up.
Stalkers. I mean, a family of stalkers stalking these people in a hotel.
Home
invasion type thing. This movie was great. There's gore, some gore, not real bad, but there's a lot of blood in this movie. The kills are excellent. The director did very well with setting up the story, developing a story, putting everything in place the way it follows is very well done. The music is great. Everything about this movie is great. Yeah. I haven't seen the sequel yet. I have bought it, but I have not watched it yet. I do need to sit and watch it because I thoroughly enjoyed this first film.
That first one messed me up.
If you're up to watch this, what was her name? Liv Tyler? Was she?
Yeah.
Liv Tyler was in this. Yes.
I could call her Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. WWE superstar Liv Morgan. No, Liv Tyler was great in this movie. I haven't really watched. I can't say I've really watched her in a lot of movies. I think I've seen her in that one, and I've seen her in
Armageddon.
Well, yeah, I've seen her maybe in 3 movies. In
If I
that
Could
one.
Stay Away.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah.
Armageddon and Empire Records. Empire Records was a great movie with her. But this movie was great. The sequel was, it made enough money to make a sequel. But like I said, I haven't watched the sequel yet, but I do want to watch it, so I need to check that one out. Now this next one I'm going to probably butcher this director's name. Diedrich Ruigen, and it's 2018's Possession of Hannah Grace.
Hey, that messed me up.
This movie took a whole nother turn as far
Possession.
as of possession. Okay, this movie set up to where the girl that is brought to the morgue for this autopsy or whatever's going on, whatever this girl's doing at the morgue, uh, is haunted by this body. The girl that was possessed died during the exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
So then she got transported to the morgue at the local hospital to find out the cause of death, that kind of thing. This movie, the jump scares are galore. There's not a lot of gore in here. There doesn't have to be.
Exactly. It was nothing but
jump scares. Jump scares and stuff that will make your skin crawl, pretty much. All right. The way the lighting, the way everything's set up is great. The story carries well. It builds to a wonderful end. Not a wonderful end, but I mean a great ending. We'll put it that way. A great ending. I really liked it. It was like I said,
it was different.
It was a different twist to the possession type
And
genre.
it was strange because really I thought, possessions had to be, they had to possess a living being, but this one was different.
Yeah.
It's like the exorcism wasn't done.
Yeah.
She died in it, and the next thing you know, she's possessed again. I'm like, man, this is going against all the rules. Alright?
I don't think I've watched anything else that this guy has directed. But I would be interested in watching some of his other stuff. If it's as good as this movie.
Yeah.
This movie was very well done. Well worth the time. Okay, now we're going to move on to another classic from 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. This is one of those movies that, like the Descent, that set up the claustrophobia. This one sets up paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
So well.
I don't need paranoia, man.
You do not know who is infected and who is not in this movie. There's no way. They figure out how to tell later on, but at the start, the way the story starts out, you do not know who's infected until it's too late, until, they're on you. The special effects in this movie were incredible.
They were in the snow in Antarctica.
Trapped in the middle of nowhere.
Colder than...
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
All well diggers, you know what.
Yeah. So that alone... that alone is pretty much terrifying, and to not know who's coming at you,
or who it is,
or who it,
or what it is,
or even understanding where it freaking came from, any of that. John Carpenter is a master of horror, just like James Wan. Of course, he is one of the icons of horror. John Carpenter is, in my opinion. But this movie was great. If you have not watched it, definitely give this one a watch. Story's well done, well directed. Special effects are incredible. The prosthetics are cool. There is no CGI in this film.
It's 1982.
It's 1982. So everything they did in this movie was prosthetics. They were, and to me, I love a movie that's more prosthetics than CGI.
Yeah.
CGI looks good in certain situations, but nowadays they use it way too much, and it plays out too.
They've lost
it looks terrible.
They've lost their way with that stuff.
But this movie's great. This movie is great. Okay, so now the last movie on our list was 2009's Drag Me to Hell by Sam Raimi.
That was his introduction back to horror.
After doing the Spider-Man movies and all that kind of thing, he jumps back into horror, and He doesn't jump in alone. He drags you with him. This movie, it put me a lot in mind of the Evil Dead, original Evil Dead.
Yeah.
The way he set everything up. This movie was incredible. It's an awesome story. Justin Long was in this movie. The other girl, I don't know.
I can't remember
her name. But wasn't he the one that played in Jeepers Creepers?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he was great in that too. This movie was great. It's a gypsy curse taken to a higher level.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if you ever see a gypsy lady, do not piss her off.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
Be nice to everybody, especially a gypsy lady, because
she'll put the hoodoo on you.
She will put the hoodoo voodoo on you, and you will be pooping green for the next century, okay? But anyways, this movie was really well done. Sam Raimi is excellent. He tells a great story in here. The curse, the way it was all set up, the seances that they do in this movie are incredible. They're spooky. There's a little bit of gore in there, and it kind of pushes the limit a little bit. But it's okay. It's Sam Raimi. That's what Sam Raimi does. That's what Sam Raimi's so good at.
He's good at it.
So, this movie is also very, very good. It's very well directed, very well acted. The special effects are great. It tells a great story. This movie's incredible. It is one of the best films to watch during Halloween season. Or any season, actually. I mean, hell, watch it around Christmas time. I don't care. As long as you watch it. Because it's good.
We didn't do The Exorcist, did we?
No, we didn't put The Exorcist in here. Or Exorcist Believer. Those are honorable mentions, though. Those are very good. The Exorcist was flat out a creepy movie.
Yeah.
That movie was terrifying. People were throwing up. Women were giving birth.
Screaming, crying.
And when the original show came out in theaters, I mean, it was unreal, the stuff that was going on in them theaters when that movie was playing.
This newer one should have been the sequel.
Yeah, they should have never made like Exorcist 2 or 3.
The Heretic.
Well,
the third one was...
The third one was okay. The third one was alright. They could have had Exorcist and then Exorcist Believer and then maybe the third one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did a review on Exorcist Believer. If you haven't watched it yet, please go back and watch that. Both Exorcist, the original and Believer, both excellent films. If you have not watched those, guarantee you will enjoy those films.
So before you watch all these movies, go to Walmart or wherever you can go get you some diapers.
Yeah.
Put them on. If you have to vomit, get you a barf bag or a bowl or something.
Come down to Kroger's, I'll give you a bunch of plastic bags. You can puke in those if you want. But make sure you get popcorn too, because you'll need something to puke up. But anyway.
Golly. Nasty.
I know. I'm sorry. Bad. But anyway. All these movies that are on this list, they are all good. We enjoyed watching them when we first watched them. Like I said, we've probably watched at least half of those several times, if not all of them several times. So, there's a lot on there, and they're all well done. They're a lot of fun to watch. So, get a chance, sit down and watch them, enjoy them like we did, and hopefully there'll be some other good ones to come out here before too much longer to watch. They've been kind of few and far between, but there's the new Insidious, the Red Door, which is out now. There's actually one called Talk to Me that I'd like to watch. If you haven't seen the trailer for that one, watch the trailer for that one because it looks pretty creepy. Like I said, we did a review on the Five Nights at Freddy, me and my son, so check that video out. But there's been a few that come out that was pretty good. But that's our top. What was that? 18 movies. 18 movies, scariest movies on our list that you need to watch on Halloween.
And it ain't no slashers, no crashers, no monsters, no nothing. It's just down to earth. Ah!
I'll go back and make my favorite monsters because I'm into that type stuff.
Yeah, he likes giant rats and squirrels. And zombie beavers.
Zombie beavers. Yes, I watched the movie Zombie Beavers. Very good film. You need to watch that.
And fart and
shit.
Anyways,
all right. So we're going to end this video right here, and we got, like I said, it's almost Halloween. Happy Halloween. Enjoy the season. Be kind to each other. Like, comment, subscribe.
Leanna, you're still a whore.
Yeah, Lene Quigley, you're still a whore. Hit the bell to get notifications each time one of these videos come out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Get us out there. Tell your friends about us. And we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Word.